The mission of this club shall be to advance the principles and purposes of the Republican Party, to elect Republican candidates to public office, to strengthen the civic welfare of the community, and to engage in a vigorous exchange of ideas supporting Republican values.
Thank you very much. Now, next with roll call. Officers: Daniel Mayo, President, here. David Abraham, Kathy Lally, Zil Liddy, David Camp, Isaiah Vega, Carol Crone, Sophia Morel,
Here.
okay, Jim Schwassman, Martha Rowan, and she's on her way. Let's see, Arkadiusz Kolazewski, Phil McManus, Juan Pagan,
Here.
Zili Chow, Gerald Lally, Emily Zane, Stephen Weiner, Jim Strawhorn,
Here.
Phil Grillo, Stan Norwalk, Ruben Cruz,
Present.
Joe Solomon, Captain Donnelly, and Craig Tyson. Okay, next is the reading of the minutes. Would anyone like to volunteer to read the minutes of the last meeting? Okay, it's just a 1 page and a half. Any volunteers? Okay. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Minutes of the regular meeting of the Central Queens Republican Club held on December 18, 2025 at Grace Lutheran Church, 103-15 Union Turnpike, Forest Hills, Queens, 11375. Right here. The meeting was called into order at 7:30 p.m. Mary Jo Mafia led the Pledge of Allegiance since the State Attorney General candidate, Sarita Komatsuri, I think I got it right, had another engagement. The meeting agenda was suspended, allowing her to speak first. Sarita Komatsuri was a federal prosecutor of terrorists and was nominated by President Trump to be a federal judge in 2020. She is a mother of 2 sets of twins. She stated that we need a prosecutor who will focus on New York and safety with compassion, and the 2019 bail reform laws should be rolled back. The club proceeded to the memorial for Joseph Mafia, a Republican candidate for state assembly who died on August 2025. Speakers included Harris Bati, who campaigned for him in 2022, Christy Brown, executive director of the New Dramatist, Edwin de la Cruz, a Manhattan district leader who brought flowers, Isaiah Vega on his Vote Mafia or Else photo, Michael Zumblaskis, a Manhattan leader via text message, and Mary Jo Mafia, who thanked everyone. Nathaniel Gavronsky, with the Metropolitan Republican Club, spoke later. The meeting resumed at 8:07 with Jim Strawhorn, who read the club's mission statement, and Martha Rowan did the roll call. Ronald Eighth read the minutes of the November 20th, 2025 meeting. Anton Trapman motioned to adopt the minutes, second by Richard MacArthur, who was passed with Isaiah Vega casting 1 nay vote. Board members in attendance were Isaiah Vega, Gerard Lally, Kathy Lally, Ruben Cruz, Daniel Mayo, Martha Roman, Jim Strawhorn, Joel Solomon, Ark, my friend Ark, I can't pronounce his name, Tomasaski, and Phil Grillo. Absent were Stan Norwalk, James Schwartzman, David Abraham, Carol Crone, Zil Levy, David Kemp, Emily Zhang, Stephen Weiner, Catherine Donnelly, Vic Starsky, Juan Pagan. Zal Ko, Craig Tyson, Tomaszewski delivered his final report as treasurer, reported a bank balance of $4,265.72, with 62 paid members at the end of the 2025 calendar year. President's annual report was presented by Daniel Mayo. In 2025, the club hosted about 80 speakers, including Bronx Conservative Chairman Pat McManus, Brooklyn GOP Vice President Svetlana Zelenskaya, I think I got that right, political writer and illustrator Lawrence Spivak, The club started memorials as an agenda item, and members fundraised for Phil Grillo, an incarcerated J6er. Phil Grillo shared his experience and invited the audience to join Ashley Babbitt's memorial on January 6, 2026. Phil informed the audience that the J6 community has recorded over 60 deaths, and even though they are pardoned, it was still difficult for them to get back on their feet, since Googling their names does not come up with much positive press. Election of the 2026 officers and board members. Martha Rowan read the names of the nominated officers. Daniel Mayo, President. David Abraham, First Vice President. Kathy Ladden, Second Vice President. Tazil Levy, Third Vice President. David Kemp, Recording Secretary. Isaiah Vega, Corresponding Secretary. Carol Crone, Financial Secretary. Sophia Worrell, Treasurer. James Schwartzman, Sergeant at Arms, and board members for the 2026 and 2028 term. Art Tomaszewski, Phil McManus, Juan Pagan, Zyle Kao, Gerard Lally, and Emily Zane. Daniel mentioned that any member who wants to be chairman of the board could submit his or her name to Martha. Jonathan Rinaldi shared his strategy using AI in politics. AI is learning based on information you feed using ChatGPT, Gemini Perplexity. AI doesn't think, reason, or determine truth. It accelerates the spread of information. What becomes visible gets believed. Using AI, Jonathan forced the Queen's Eagle, Chronicle, New York Post, Patch, City and State Gothamist, and the Daily News to write articles about him. George Marsh won the 50-50 raffle. Jerry Lowry shared that a victim of the December 13th Brown University shooting was Ella Cook, a vice president at Brown's College Republicans. Motion to adjourn the meeting was made by Martha Rowan and seconded by Phil Grillo at 9:30 p.m. That's minutes.
Thank you very much, Juan.
Bravo.
Any corrections or comments on the minutes? Seeing none, do I have a motion to adopt the minutes? Anton, seconded by Richard. All in favor said aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Oh, Isaiah, you're here. Okay. All right, the motion has been adopted. Let's see, I want to, before continuing the next item, thank you, Larry Block, if you play the music before the meeting, and as usual, and Michael, and thank you very much for gracing us with your music there. So if you came early, we did have to just have started 1 hour before the meeting. So if you come in earlier, you will be entertained. Okay, next we have the financial report. Sophia, would you like to give us the financial report from our treasurer?
Hey, Sophia, yay!
Want the microphone?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah, so our balance is $4,167.27. We have 63 members in good standing. And since this is January, we're going to start to make a resolution that we're going to bring this number up from 63 to 65 to 70. We're going to start to build on it. Thank you.
Good job. Thank you very much. And actually, the 63rd new member of the club is one of our speakers tonight, Bernard Vaiselberg. So thank you very much, Bernard. Okay, let's move on down to announcement. I guess, Sophia, you want to talk about your immigration effort, okay? Yeah, your immigration effort.
Oh.
Sure. You want to move on to someone else while you get ready? Yeah, in the announcement section, certainly we have people who want to say something, but anyone could also say anything there. You don't have to be on the agenda.
Thank you. So as a new member, I wanted to ask Dan if I could speak about immigration for a little bit. And I have some papers I want to give, if I could just hand those out to people. So while those are being handed out, if you look at it, there's an action plan.
Thank you.
And behind it is identity. And so there's a reason why I sent it out, because I'm not going to do talking today. I'm going to let you ask me questions, but before you ask me questions, like I said, I'm going to talk about immigration. I just want to ask, how many members here are native-born Americans? Native-born, was born in America.
Born and bred.
Born and bred, okay. How many of you are naturalized citizens or weren't born here? Okay, just a few. So this is a hot topic right now when we talk about immigration. And it is something that is near and dear to my heart. I don't know how near and dear it is to everybody's heart, but it's near and dear to me because I always tell people I paid a lot of money to be in this country. It took me 16 years to become a citizen, and it was not an easy process. And what I'm saying right now just really gets to the heart of American, what it means to be an American, and it just drives me crazy because this is a wonderful country. A lot of people want to be here until they get here. And a lot of people who come to this country, to me, seemingly don't understand what they're coming to. They've left something, and they come here, and they say, I want a better life. And then they come into this country and have no understanding of what it's about. It took me a while as an immigrant, legal, to understand the system. It is a very, very complex system, and as I move around, I realize a lot of people don't understand what this system is about. And so my thing is like to really move forward to educate. That's as much as I'm going to say, because I want it to be an open forum, because usually you have a speaker that gets up here and talk and talk and talk.
Oh my gosh.
But no, what we're going to do is, my name is Sophia, I've become a treasurer, I'm part of your club. Who am I? If I'm going to be part of your club, not a native born, but a naturalized citizen, and I just walk in here, you should know who I am. So I'm going to open the floor, and how we're going to do it, you can ask me anything, and I'm going to try my best to answer for the next couple of minutes.
Well, I don't have a question, but I have a comment that it is so inspiring to know that you became a citizen and now you're teaching us, which is very inspiring to me. And that is what America is all about.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Any other question that you want to ask about immigration? Or go ahead.
Yes. Well, in my case, when I was naturalized, I remember going to the federal court in Baltimore and just getting my little flag and Constitution. What was your memory of your naturalization? Because that for us is a very meaningful day.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what it is? It is, they said, no, you can vote. That was what was meaningful to me. And vote for whom? Vote for what? You know? It was just like, no, you can vote. And it was about researching, voting for whom and why was I voting for and why. So, you know, you just say, no, you can go and drive, but you know, you gotta learn how you're gonna drive. So that was
The
yeah.
road.
Yeah, and I come from Barbados, and it's a very simple thing. You just vote every 4 years, and that's it. And America, that's not what it is. You're voting like every single year for different people, different things, and it's a complex system. So that was something that was like really wonderful to be able to do, to participate in. Any other question? Yes, sir.
What do you love about America?
Ooh.
It's a good question.
Wow, what do I love about America? You know, so as a kid, I would see people leave the islands and come to America, and then they would come back home and talk about, just talk about America, just talk about coming and shopping or whatever it is, and it's more than that to me. You can come to America, and you can do anything in America. And what does that mean, do anything? So back home we're limited. You go to school and you go into a certain line of work, and that's it. What's the line of work? You know, maybe go be a nurse, go be a teacher, the regular jobs. And what is so fascinating about America is that you can start anything. You can be in fashion, you can be in movies, you can be in music, you can play ball games, you can start a company. So for instance, you can start Starbucks, and you can start Dunkin' Donuts, and you can start Macy's, and you can just do all of those things, and it's supported. And the culture is so rich, and the civics is so rich, and the people are so rich in thought and intelligence. And you have so much institutions that people take for granted. And those are things we don't have back home. And one of the interesting things about America that a lot of us take for granted that we can't do back home. When we talk about civics, you have that hierarchy that you can never reach there. You can come to America, and the only thing you cannot do as an immigrant is to run for the highest office in the land as vice president and president. Anything else you can do. Those are the only two things we can't do. But we can do everything else. So I come here and I see people take it for granted, and it's really heartbreaking. So I hope I've answered that question in a long-winded way. I can take one more question before I go. And I just want us to, one more question. I handled some papers that I think is really important. So I'll take one question, and then I want to deal with what I handed out. Yes, sir.
How do you feel about the protesters blocking the ICE agents from doing their job?
Good question.
One minute.
I was talking to the gentleman here, and he asked me the same question. Yes. So I asked the question, what are they fighting for? So I want you to tell me what they're fighting for. Can someone tell me what all of those protests, what they're fighting for? No, what are the protesters fighting for?
We gotta be more specific on what protesters, because there's so many different groups out there. And,
The women protesters.
Yes, okay, so they're fighting for what? Immigrants?
So they don't deport them.
Huh? They don't deport.
They don't want to gather them up and deport them.
Right.
That's what they're fighting.
Right, okay, so they're fighting for immigrants.
They're fighting for everyone.
Right. But, no, you know what? Yeah, no, but
Undocumented.
no, but yeah, but you know what? I'm going to say immigrants. I know it's illegal, but you know why I'm saying immigrants? Because I said to the gentleman, why are you fighting for me? You don't even know who I am. You don't know when I came here. You don't know the process. So quickly, okay, illegal aliens. There's a port of entry. And if you come to this country, the only country that has to have a visa, for what I know, is America. I could have traveled to any other country, to Canada, to Europe, any place. I didn't need a visa. I needed a visa to come to America. You come through, I had to get a passport. You have to get a passport to travel. You have to come to a port of entry, seaport, airport. And you need that visa. If you don't have that visa, you cannot come into America. I don't even know if you know that as naturalized, as natives. So you need a visa to come into this country. What are you fighting? What do you fight on my behalf for? I have to look for that. Every immigrant has to look for that. So you don't just walk over the border. When I was as a Barbadian, you couldn't just walk into our country. So how dare you come into this country and say, well, because I come over here, I demand whatever. What are you demanding? You have no rights.
right, exactly.
You have no rights.
It's done.
You have no rights. I have no rights. Well, no, I do. But I have no right in this country. I had to earn my rights. And it took me 16 years. So quickly, when I came, I had to get a work permit. It took me 2 years to get that work permit. 2 years. It took me 5 years to get a green card. And you cannot apply before 5 years. You have to wait 5 years. So it's 2 years, it's 5 years. Then I have to wait another 5 years to apply for citizenship. You can't say, well, okay, I'm going to start at 3 years. You have to wait for 5 years. So that's 12 years we're talking about to get citizenship in this country. And it's a process. And it will take me forever to explain all the affidavits and everything and all the thousands of dollars I paid for myself and for my son. And then you will tell me that someone just walked over a border and is there getting public assistance. When I got my green card, they said to me, I can't get food stamps. I didn't know what was food stamps. What is food stamps? Then I learned it. I don't want food stamps. I don't know food stamps. I'm here to work.
That's right.
And the thing is, assimilation is really important. What am I assimilating to? Nobody has no clue what they're assimilating to. Well, are we going to listen to rock music or country or whatever? Are we going to go to a ball game? There's certain norms that we have to assimilate to. And I'm not going to get into that. But identity is something I just want to read right now. And again, quickly, if you look at your birth certificate, it tells you who you are as a person. If you look at your social and you look at all your documents, they give you an identity. Help me, us who are naturalized. We get a certificate, and what does that certificate say on it? You native boys will know. What was on our certificate? Do you remember? Or maybe it was so long. I just got mine in 2023. It said nothing. It said like any certificate, Sophia Worrell. It didn't say Black Sophia Worrell. It didn't say how tall or whatever. It says Sophia Worrell. So please, quickly, I give you a sheet that talk about identity. Give me 1 minute, Daniel, just to read that out. To me, I was doing research when I was going to college. And I did a lot of studying and reading. I tried to remember where that came from. And I couldn't because it was so long ago. But the thing about it is someone can read the first part of, for me, identity. I see the lady, she wants to read it. Can you read it for me, please? To the back of it, identity.
The American identity.
The American identity, yes.
The American identity means being brave, being proud of this country, and being confident that we will succeed. Being an American is an honor, not a privilege. Being a citizen is supporting the troops that fought for our country.
Very nice.
And there's more to what it is. Because identity, not like what the Democrats are saying, well, you know, oh, it's a black thing. It's not a white, it's not a black thing. It's about being great. This is a great country. You come here to do one thing as an immigrant. And I used to say, come here for a better life. No, I've got a better life. I came here to do one thing. And for those who have the paper, is to add something to this country. What is it that I can add? And every immigrant who came before me came and added something to this country. And any immigrant that don't want to do that is not truly here to represent this country. They're going to pack up and they're going to go back. I'm here to stay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sophia Worrell, immigration experience. The next announcement, I'd like to introduce Mr. George Sarantopoulos. He ran for city council last year, got over 41% of the vote.
Probably got more.
Hi, everybody. Good evening.
Evening.
Come on, everybody. Good evening. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm visiting the Queens today. But my name is George Sarantopoulos. I'm a father, a husband, an entrepreneur. But I'm going to tell you the most important part of myself that actually changed the trajectory of my life, where I decided to pivot into something else. Something that was really important because I love this city more than, I grew up in the city, I grew up on Staten Island, don't hold that against me. In my 20s, I lived in Manhattan like every other dumb bachelor. And in my 30s, I raised my family, married, and raised my stepson and my daughter in Brooklyn. So I'm a 3-borough kid. But why did I decide to run? I had a very successful business. I still have a successful business. I was blessed. Most of these people that run, you'll find very soon, if you get to know them, are unemployable in the private sector. I assure you that.
Thank you.
Now, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when I met them, I would like, oh my God, these people, I would look at them with veneration. These people are our leaders. They must know things, right? I assure you they do not. So why did I decide to run? Why did I run for city council last year? I actually raised the most funds in matching funds for a Republican in the city of New York for a city council run. If it was a normal election, I got 15,000 votes almost. That is more than the councilman before Justin Brennan ever got. And I would have been called councilman. But a little problem happened. Zoran Mandami and all the Zoranistas came out. And how did I know? How did I know? I saw the blue hair. I saw the pink hair. I saw the nose piercings. That was the giveaway that these people were not voting for me. Now, why did I decide to run? Why get involved? Why take a pay cut? I mean, my wife was not happy. When I told her I was running in February, the Chinese wife that she is, Daniel will attest to this, was like, are you crazy? That's number one. 2 years ago, I went to the doctor. I was having some problems. And I found out in very short order, after a scan, that lit up like a Christmas tree, that I had between stage 3 and 4 prostate cancer.
Oh my God.
When you ask the doctor how you're doing, and this is relevant why I'm running, because people will say, oh, he's a businessman, why is he running? He said there was 90% chance that I wasn't gonna make 5 years. I went for a scan right before I ran, before I decided to run, and that scan came up completely clean. I didn't get it out. So I assure you, do not ever give up faith. Faith will get you in miraculous places. So I decided, hey, listen, this is time that I have that I shouldn't have. I decided I wanted to make a difference. I love our city. I love it with all its faults, all its imperfections, all its problems. But I think we can do better. Now, I'm sorry I lost, and I don't know if some of the people in this room might have contributed to me or something, but I assure you, the fight is not over. Now, what is their vision for the city? You're going to hear many people come in this room. They had 80 guests in the last year. We know what our vision for the city is. I mean, there might be slight differences, but we all know what our city looks like. A city that was under Giuliani, LaGuardia, the great city that we all know and love. They want a city where criminals run loose after they've committed the most heinous crimes. They want to make prostitution legal, and prostitutes will work right outside your homes. They want anarchy on our subways and buses and on our streets. Let's be clear about that. Their vision for the city is chaos. We are on the right in more ways than one. So, do not give up, do not despair. I am working to keep the fight going on. Now, what was the number one failing, in my opinion? There is no information on local elections if you're a Republican or a conservative candidate. There is none. You get a blurb once in a while in the New York Post. If you're lucky, you get maybe 5 minutes on WABC, or 10 minutes. I was the only candidate to get a New York 1 debate. Now, can you imagine? They get matching funds. All these people get matching funds. They get matched 8 to 1. They should be mandated to do a debate. If you're going to take money from the city, you should have to do a debate.
It's a good point, so.
My opponent agreed, and she, to her credit, she agreed to the debate. So I will give her credit, even though her policies are crazy. So, 51 city council members, only 1 debate? That's atrocious. So we are creating a digital magazine. That card that we are giving you out, I'd like you guys all to take it out. It's called Vaughn. It is our publication. We're not asking for any money. Don't worry. We're not asking for any. I mean, you guys want to send me a donation, we'll take it. But it's not a subscription. All you got to do is take out your phone, scan the QR code, and just join. We are going to go public, probably not public, but we will start publication May or June 1st. But we need people to join. Now, what does vaunt mean? Vaunt means to exclaim, to pronounce, to get your message out there. And we have not got our message out there. How do I know that? When I ran for office, I got 10 liberal blogs that called me up and tried to trap me in some kind of question. The stupidest questions, by the way. We don't have one conservative blog or any news media that covers local elections. So I am asking you, each and every one of you guys, please join our list. Again, it's free to join. We just need members to join our journey. So please consider it, scan your QR code. We're just asking for an email and a name, and that's all we're asking for. And that's it, that's all I came to speak today. I will take a couple of questions about running for New York City Council if anyone wants to. And by the way, each and every one of you guys here can run for City Council. Don't ever think they're better than you. I just can't stress that enough. Sir, you have a question?
Yeah, you keep saying at the beginning, they. Who is
Well, I would say the establishment, which is pretty much controlled by the Democrats in New York City.
And rhinos.
And rhinos, and people that just go to get along. I mean, there's electeds in our state and city that get along, they don't want to fight the good fight. They like to be invited to the right cocktail parties, I don't really give a crap about that, so, much to the chagrin of my wife.
Where did you run again?
I ran in Bay Ridge, Dyker Heights, Coney Island, in that area down there.
And how did you raise the money? From fundraisers? Did you have?
I raised the money myself. I'm a sales guy. I'm an entrepreneur.
You went door to door?
No, I called people I knew. I called business owners that I knew. I called people in the district. I called my neighbors. But look, the one thing you learn in sales is smile and dial. You just gotta do the work.
So you did it all from your cell phone? No.
I mean, I had data.
You didn't have any fundraisers?
No,
And you raised most?
I didn't pay one fundraiser.
Interesting.
Listen, I could sell ice to Eskimos. I'm just saying, I'm a good sales guy. I don't know if everyone can do that, Yes.
Hi, I'm curious, did you, call the GOP to help you, or did they contact you?
Well, funny thing was, I was running against the GOP chairman and I beat him. So, yeah,
That says a lot.
That says a lot. I am, he had 18 endorsements against me, I'll give him credit. I had one or two endorsements. I had the Young Republicans in New York City. And then I had Ina Vernikoff, that turned to me at the last minute. And then I had Asian Wave. And that was about it. I had no other, if I'm forgetting anybody, forgive me, but those were the endorsements I had. And they all came in last minute. And I ended up beating the chairman who was running for that seat. Thank you very much, I appreciate that.
If you remember the newspaper article about dead people voting, that's his
Oh,
risk.
that's my wheelhouse.
Oh, yeah, well, listen, apparently my opponent was very popular, even the dead came back, so. Yes, what would you like to ask?
Thank you. We all have a lot to say about the Democratic Party, but I'd be interested in your views on dealing with the Republican Party. What was that experience?
Just kidding.
If you can.
Yeah, look, I think we need to bring youth into the organization. The Democratic Socialists of America, they have about 100,000 members all over the state. And how do they do it? They do it by doing social events for people under 35 and 40. So they have a cocktail party, they all come, they have bingo night. They do events to get these people in. They're socialists incidentally. I mean, yeah, maybe some of them believe it, but they get them in there through social events. And the average age on a primary, interesting statistic that I found out, was 68 years old. 68 years old. That is terrible. No offense to our seniors in here, we want you to participate in our system, but where are the young guys? Where are the young women? You know, they're not voting.
Do you blame them though?
That's a long question. That's a long, you know, we might be here all night, like, you know. So I don't know the answer to that.
I do.
Listen, I was waiting online. I was working a poll site, and one of the Zoranistas came. Didn't care.
I'm gonna use that.
And, that's actually Curtis's. I don't want to, you know, he probably has a trademark, so be careful. And she had pink hair, right? And the nose piercing, Asian girl. She's like, oh, I can't move out of my parents' house. So we just started talking, and I wanted to know why she was there. She was mid-20s. She's like, well, I can't move out of my house. Oh, okay, all right. You know, we started talking a little more. She's like, I just graduated college. I was like, oh, okay. What degree did you get? You want to take a guess?
Psychology.
Sociology.
Genders?
No, she just took sociology. I mean, I don't know if she took a minor. Maybe she took a minor. But sociology. Of course you can't move out of her house. By the way, my brother-in-law, who I raised, my stepson, he went to nursing school, and then he went for a master's. He's making $250,000. He's making a lot, you know, he's making a lot of money. You got to go for the right degree. That's all I can say. So, any other questions?
What percentage you get?
42. I got 15,000 votes.
That means you did win.
Wow. 40, and then what did she get?
She got 21,000. But in her column, she had about, well, I don't know if they voted for her. I'm going to assume they voted for her. But she had, in my district, there was about 4,000 to 4,500 new voters. Never voted before.
And was she
So I'm going to assume they were Zoran people.
Was she on working families as well?
Yes.
Okay.
She's also a socialist, but I called her out on New York One, but she denied it. So I tried, you know.
Are you gonna run again?
Yes, you should.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Thank you very much. You know, I'm thinking about it. But you know, I don't want to run just to run in every seat. I'm really passionate about the city council stuff.
Well, one of the things you can do when you run again is build on the experience, on the things you learned.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, and I'm happy to report, I'm now not in opposition to the party. I actually have a seat at the table. My wife has a seat at the table. Some of our people are at the table, and I'm not young, but my wife's younger. My wife's 41, and we have members now under 30. You know, we need to get them involved to pull in that young vote. You know. So I'm sorry.
I was thinking also a good thing, or we had brought this up at one of the earlier meetings. One of the reasons why Zoran was so successful is he's very tech savvy,
Absolutely.
and very social media savvy. And one of the advantages to bringing in young people is they'll be able to help us move into those spheres that the other young people use. They're not so interested in print media. And Facebook
Well,
is
that's
something.
why I'm doing this magazine electronically, because it just, print is dead.
Exactly. They may use Facebook to be with their older relatives, but they have these newer social media sites that the young people use, and we need to be on there and to also know how to use it, know how to speak to the young people, and having young people on our side, I think is going to really be key to us winning more seats.
Yeah, and listen, I would say the other thing that we need to do, and is a big fight, I also work as comms director for Assemblyman Lester Chang. Not because it paid well, it just to help him out. My wife's Chinese, so we wanted to help him out. And, you know, I would talk to Albany, like, hey, let's do, you know, he's entitled to a budget every year to send out a mailer. But sending it out in English in his district is kind of disservice. Most of the people are just going to throw it away. So I said, let's do Chinese and English, right? Right, common sense, right? The district's very Chinese. Let's speak to them. You know, let them know that the Assemblyman is working for them, doing stuff, whatever. It was like pulling teeth in Albany, you know. They didn't, you know, you thought I would ask them to discover fire. You know, it's, Yeah, it's a club, listen, we need to talk, listen, when I ran, I went to mosque and spoke to the Urdu community, the Pakistani community, the Arab community. I'm not afraid to go there, but as Republicans, we have to learn to speak those languages, and if we don't know, hire people and go where they are at and not be afraid. Because their values are our values. You know, the Democrats have just pulled this, this scam on them that they're for them, but they're with us. If you ask them, like, oh, are you for, transgender surgery for kids? They're like, what? So they are not, we just need to inform them and go to their communities and to speak to them.
Thank you very much, George.
Thank
George
you.
Topless, online publication call. Our next announcement is going to come from Pro Gurlo. Last week he attended the J6 Memorial for Ashley Bobbitt. As you may recall, she's the only one that was filmed that was sort of disrespected at the beginning. Go ahead.
Hi, how you doing, everybody? Yeah. So, last week I had the pleasure of meeting and reuniting with my fellow J6ers that I was in prison with for the 5th annual reunion of the death of Ashley Bobbitt. On the way, Antifa is screaming, we're glad she's dead, so on and so forth. They're just pitiful, trying to disturb a memorial. We were praying. I was with some of the greatest Americans I've ever met. And it was quite the experience. I spent 7 days with my fellow J6ers, the Proud Boys. And if anyone's looking to join the Proud Boys, let me know. I will pass the information along to the people who can go ahead and give you interviews. And just amazing people who are really fighting for America. I had the displeasure of running into Tom Swazi. He came over to the memorial. He was standing with Antifa members, and he recognized me from past political campaigns. And he said, "Oh, you're returning to the scene of the crime." So we all went off on him. This is a man who buys stocks in the stock market while he's serving as a member of Congress. And now all of a sudden he's switched all of the stocks over to treasury bills. This is a man who said that January 6th was worse than Pearl Harbor, along with the political hack in State Senate District 16, John Liu, who was one of the worst, who led Black Lives Matter in his district at the time, which was State Senate District 11, with Tom Swazi, who was a complete political hack. Tom Swazi, when His Excellency President Trump was elected, said that the Second Amendment was meant for presidents like President Trump. Fast forward 4 years later, President Trump was shot. We are organizing as the J6 community to get America First candidates into office. Without the rhinos. We don't need the rhinos to get us into office. And I met some, I would, just like to say for the live stream that we have members of the Proud Boys that do printing. They print T-shirts, they print campaign, they work on campaigns. And I would ask that we would, Danny's gonna put their website on the Queens Central Republican Club's website. So we may buy our palm cards at a discounted rate, rather than getting it through the party, because that's how they make their money, the party officials. And it's called Fat Enzo Campaign and Printing Design. It's by Rob Piccolo, who is a member of the Proud Boys, who is and runs the War Boys podcast with Enrique Tarrio, who I spent 7 days with, who is an absolute gentleman and a true American who loves this country and who went to prison for no reason. He wasn't even at January 6th, and he got 22 years. You know, and I was in prison with him, and we were tortured together. We were tortured together, the both of us, together. So I urge all Republican candidates to, and they're not a part of the establishment, they're not a part of the Republican Party making money, they're making a living through advertisements and helping out candidates, giving a good price, where you know, you go up to the chairman of the Republican Party and you say, listen, I need palm cards. They turn around and say, yeah, no problem. And they send you to their printer. They make a cut in between. You have party officials that are making all sorts of money on the backs of candidates, running candidates, putting them on the ballot, and then knocking them off. As we saw with Juan Pagan's last state senate run, the party, you don't need the party. You don't need them. We'll get you on the ballot without them. Because that's the game. If you don't use their vendors, if you don't use the party's vendors and they gave you the nomination, they don't want to know nothing about you. You know, that's all they're about, is raising the money. It was just an amazing experience last week. We went out to dinner, brunch, prayed. You know, it was just Suzanne Monk, who has been an advocate. I don't know if any of you know her. She wrote a book on the pardons, which I found out her name when I was in prison. And her husband died, and we had a memorial for her. It was just unbelievable how the J6 community comes together. And I just ask all of you to support the Proud Boys. They are not this white nationalist group that everyone in the fake news media seems to be saying. The leader is Cuban. He's Cuban. You know, and darker than most people in this room. And they call him a white nationalist. And he doesn't deserve it. He went to prison. They tortured him for 4 years. I was tortured with him. You know, it's not the group that the fake news is letting on to be. We were all praying together for Ashley Babbitt, who was murdered, quite frankly. When you look at the video of Michael Bird, her murderer, in my humble opinion, who got a promotion after shooting Ashley Babbitt, you see that she's coming through the window. He could have pushed her back through the other side, hit her with a broomstick. No, instead, he aimed directly for a headshot, and he hit her in the neck and the shoulder at point blank range. And, you know, but that's okay. And by the way, Michael Bird has daycare centers with his wife. In Washington, in Maryland and Washington, D.C. So, I mean, it's not just in Minnesota. And he's still a Capitol Police officer, running things. And, you know, so just, we're not the monsters that the media portrayed us out to be. Neither are the Proud Boys or the Oath Keepers. And I have another announcement that tomorrow at the America First Warehouse at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Tickets are $5. We have a live stream with Real America's Voice. Okay. If anyone wants to know more about that, I'm here for the rest of the night. I'll send you the links. And also, we have a J6er who couldn't make it here tonight. Her name is Sarah Carpenter, who was a 9/11 hero, who went out on disability, went to prison for January 6th, and they took away her disability. A New York City police officer, digging through the rubble, gets arrested for shaking a tambourine in the Capitol, goes to prison, and they took away her disability at the time. She's got it back now, since the pardon. We were pardoned together and walked out of that prison cell. And she has, I'm gonna ask Danny to post that Zoom call for the 20th. The 20th, coming up next week. And this Zoom call is about clemency and pardons. We're gonna have a discussion about it. And I'm gonna ask Danny to put it on the website so that everybody, and we're gonna put, I don't know if you're part of the group chat on WhatsApp, the Central Queens Republican group chat. If you're not, see Danny, he'll put you on. You have to be a member of the group, and I will be posting it there. She is an American hero, an American hero. Her name is Sarah Carpenter, and she's putting together a Zoom call to benefit J6s and to get out some of the truth that was there. And I applaud all of you candidates up here running for office. It's the hardest thing someone can do. I've always been a campaign manager, managing campaigns, state senate campaigns, assembly, city council campaigns. I'm about to go ahead and become an America First candidate. So, with that being said, and by the way, Washington, D.C. is beautiful. I went to go to the Capitol. I went into the Capitol and I got a tour for the second time. They gave me a tour. I got a tour, so it was very nice. President Trump is power washing the whole Capitol, crime free. I was walking around the Capitol, the whole Washington D.C. in the middle of the night. It's beautiful. I urge everybody to go visit Washington D.C. and let America know that you love your president, President Donald J. Trump. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bill. Bill will join us a little later. Let's see, so 2 quick more announcements before we get to the candidates. On March 1st, we're going to be, Queensville's Republican Club will be holding its Lincoln Dinner. It's the largest dinner in the county of Queens. Bruce Blakeman will be the keynote speaker. Unfortunately, it's about $150, I think. But anyway, that'll be March 1st, and it'll be posted on the website. Another announcement. The JFK Democrat Club wants to do a debate with Republicans on President's Day, on February 16th. So any one of you are interested, it's going to be held in Kew Gardens. They just basically want to have an open discussion. Okay. If you're interested, let me know. I'll send you the information. It's an open meeting to anyone can attend. So with the Jim, great, Larry.
I do also.
Oh, okay. So
You just post in the group chat. What day of the week?
Yeah, I'll post it. That's a Monday. It's President's Day. Yes, President's Day.
Could you send an email to everyone about it?
Sure, no problem. I'll send that and let people know about it. Okay?
Are you participating?
Yes, I'll be there.
Is it gonna be on Zoom?
I don't think there's Zoom savvy, but maybe we'll post it on the club's website. They'll maybe do it live. That's a good point. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to our speakers of the night. Sorry to keep you waiting. Okay, Larry, get up here. Who would like to go first? Okay.
Larry, take this, Larry, take it. I don't know why I'm moving.
Okay. Anyway, tonight we have 4 guests. We're hoping that on February 3rd there's a special election, but unfortunately we only have 2 Republicans out of 3 special elections on the ballot, and you don't need to do petitioning, okay, for this special election. The one raised against Mamdani, 36 City Council, 36 Assembly District, Astoria, Lawn City, we don't have a Republican candidate, no conservative candidate. The one that's going for 47 state senate in the Upper West Side, unfortunately that person's a placeholder, she just wanted to put the name up there because she's not going to do any race. The person that actually is a race, 74 state assembly in the Lower East Side, he told me he's going to be here tonight, but we'll see, we'll continue. So anyway, I guess let's start with Bernard since you're
already got the mic.
Oh.
Can I go first? Go first. Oh, okay, go first, good. Hey everybody, how are you?
Awesome. How you doing?
I have some good news and I have some bad news.
Who are you?
I'm Larry Sharpe, how are you?
Okay.
I'm running for governor of New York my 3rd time. And I have some good news and I have some bad news. The bad news is we are the resistance to the establishment Democrats, and we're in trouble right now, as you know, in this state. Not across the country, but in this state we're in trouble. Only about 23% of the electorate right now is registered Republican, 30% is registered Independent, 47% is registered Democrat. Not looking good for us in resistance to fight Kathy Hochul. But there is an answer, that's the good news. The bad news is there are some issues. The good news is there is a way of getting around it. And the person who taught us to do, believe it or not, is Trump. In 2024, Trump did something amazing. Not just winning, that is the amazing part. He created a coalition. And that coalition allowed him to get actually to beat Kamala Harris in the popular vote. He grabbed people like RFK Jr., he grabbed people like Elon Musk, he grabbed people like Tulsi Gabbard, and he put together a coalition, not just Senate Republicans, but others who came aboard. People who were against the establishment, and that's how he was able to do that. For those who don't know, that's the first time a Republican won or beat the Democrat in a popular vote since 2002, 2000. So 20 some odd years.
I wonder why.
It's
Why
be-
would that happen in 20-something years?
It's
Isn't George
because of the
W.
coalition.
Is
That's
it
the
only
issue.
because of the coalition?
Yes, it is. It's because of the coalition. He put other people together. What wound up happening is Trump became the head of a group of people who were all against them. He became the resistance. And that's what made him actually become powerful. People came to him. There were a lot of people who voted for him. I was at an event in Florida on election day. You know, a bunch of women who were down there, and they were saying, you know, I voted for Trump. I'm like, I know, but aren't you a Democrat? They're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, why'd you vote for Trump? And what they told me was, well, I'm voting for Trump, I'm not voting for Trump, I'm voting for Bobby Kennedy Jr. through Trump. They actually told me that. Well, I'm voting for Tulsi Gabbard through Trump. I'm voting for someone else through Trump. That's how they saw it. He was able to create that coalition. A lot of people don't know that. But I heard that and I saw that. It's critical. How are we going to beat Kathy Hochul in November? Through coalition. The same thing, a coalition. That's the way to do it. I want you to remember something. Some of you may not know this. A Republican has not won a statewide election in this state, meaning senator, governor, AG, nothing,
Is it because the
in
coalition?
24 years.
Is that the coalition also?
No, it's because the state is bluer than it's ever been, and the people who are red are leaving. That's the actual reason why. It's because the people who will be voting red are leaving the state. We lose anywhere between 100 and 300,000 New Yorkers every single year. And most of them will be voting red. And they don't anymore because they're in Florida now. Florida is red now. But some of you know, Florida used to be a swing state. Those days are over.
So
Florida's a
can I
nice
ask you a
red state. The
question?
reason why it's a red state, because New Yorkers went down there who were red. And now this state's now 2-1 Democrat to Republican. If you add independents, 3-1 against Republicans. And in New York City, 6-1 against Republicans. I'm telling you, coalition is the answer. Why? For the past 24 to 30 years, Democrats have been told, I can't vote Republican. Why? Because they're evil and they hate us and they're bad. They've been told that for 20 years. An entire generation. That's why all the youth, remember, if you're under 30, you've never seen a Republican in the statewide office in this state.
I wonder why.
You've never seen one. I'm gonna be clear, last guy who won was Pataki. 2002, 24 years ago, a full generation, never seen a Republican at the top of this state. And more people are leaving. I'm telling you the answer is coalition. So I'm trying to run here in New York State under 3 or 4 lines together, the advantage of fusion voting. In the past, I ran as Libertarian. For those of you who remember, 2018, I was able to get over 100,000 votes, raise $500,000, and actually get ballot access to the Libertarian Party. The Democrats changed the laws, got rid of my party, also got rid of the Green Party too while they were at it. And now there's parties that don't really do anything, just copy each other. But we can make a change. The only guy who can do it is me. How do I know that? Because I'm so smart? I mean, I am smart. But no, that's not why. Because I'm so good looking? I'm most good looking. But that's not the reason. The reason I know is because this poll just came out. This other poll just came out. I'm an independent. I poll at 8%. That's insane.
That's not bad.
That's insane.
That's not true.
8%? 8%
not bad.
for some guy? Let me be very clear. When I ran in 2018 and 2022, and now when I'm running, I am the only guy running who's not being paid by the government to run. The only one. Kathy Hochul's being paid by the government. She's the governor. She's supposed to be taking care of us, and she's running for office. Blakeman, he's trying to run, supposed to be running Nassau County, but he's also getting paid by the government, and he's running. I'm the only one who's not doing it. And I can still raise $500,000. So it can be done. Next piece becomes something else. You have to get out there and get signatures. The last guy who's able to do that, that was me. I did it. No one else has. I'm the last guy who did it. That's how I know I can do it. Not because I just think I'm saying stuff, because I have the evidence to show it. So I've been pulling at 8% twice. I've actually run out and got signatures and got it twice before. I get back on the ballot. we get a candidate that has the Republican line, the conservative line, the libertarian line, the We the People line, against Kathy Hochul's 2 lines, that is a winnable, that's a winnable race. That's winnable. Democrats will vote for someone who's not Republican line. They're voting for the libertarian line. I know that, because again, I've run twice before. I have the data. 30% of the people who vote for me, registered Democrats. 30% registered independent or not no party affiliate. 40% registered Republicans. That's who votes for me. I know that already. Again, that's the data. I'm hoping you will look at me as someone who should be your next nominee for governor. Because if you go the opposite, if you go Blakeman, is what you will get. And very forward, is what you'll get. You'll get Kathy Hochul. Guaranteed. Nowhere on it. He's losing by 15 points already. He's not raising much money. He's not known upstate at all. I cover my state every single year. Those of you who know me, I go to every single county every single year, all 62, for the past 8 years. Whether I run or not. I only run twice, I still go. Not just that, you don't have to pay $100 to talk to me. You gotta pay $100 to talk to Blakeman. You can just talk to me now. I'm here. You will see me do events. I've been to this club more than once. As you know, it's about to be more than once. I will just come here and talk to you and take any type of question you have. I've done over 800 events across the state, all live with no notes. Someone said, thank you, hope you will support me. Go ahead. Thank you. By the way, Sharpe.com, if you want to check out who I am, please do that. And if I'm able to get 5,000 New Yorkers to give me $500,000, I will gain matching funds. Now, some of you might say to yourself, why did Mom Donnie win in New York State? It's New York City. A lot of reasons. Number one reason, he got $12 million in matching funds from New York City. I'm not joking. $12 million in matching funds from New York City. Number one reason why I won. I can get easily the same amount from New York State. I get that in New York State. I beat Blakeman in the primary. I then beat Hochul in the general.
Are you running in the Republican primary?
I will be running in the Republican primary. We're trying to. I don't know if the Republican will let me. I'm going to try to do that. I'll be going to the convention and see if they'll let me do so. So yes, I'll be trying to do so if I can. If not, I'm trying to get signatures. So I will be trying to do so. Yes, I'll be trying to. But I can't guarantee the Republican Party may tell me no. But I'll be trying to. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is just a yes or no.
Please.
Do you believe that New Yorkers voted for this mayor?
100%. No doubt in my mind.
Okay, and do you
100%.
believe
I know that because-
do you believe that Hochul, she legitimately won her race?
Okay, 2 things. You said yes or no to both questions?
Well,
Yes, absolutely. I 100%. Look, this is the reason why, some of you may not like to hear this, but be very forward. It's also the reason why Trump won also, the same reason. When people are in trouble and you have no answer versus an answer, you take the answer, whether it's good or bad. Now Trump has some good answers. He says, oh, that's good. What was Biden's answers? Thank you, laughing. He had no answers to solve any problem. Trump had a bunch. Some people didn't like it. Some people didn't like the tariffs. Some people didn't like tariffs.
Do you
But
think
they
that
still-
New York
hold on a
is-
second. But they actually said, yes, we'll take it. He's got a plan, we'll take it. Mom Donnie had a plan. I mean, it's not a real plan, but he had a plan. He said, free buses, how about free buses? That's what he said. I mean, it's true. That's what he said. He said free buses. So I got free buses, or got Cuomo going, ah! They took free buses. So yes, I absolutely believe that he won. Yes.
So do you believe that right now New York is blue?
Oh, 100% blue. I travel.
I can't vote for anybody that
That's fine.
believes that.
I got it.
Just-
Go ahead. No worries. But here's how I'm going to go even further than that. I'll go further. I will double down on that. New York right now is so blue that if you remove New York City from New York State, it's still blue. How do I know that? Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, Albany,
You're a big
Ithaca.
upstaters.
They are all blue.
I
I know I
went to
cross
school
this
upstate for 4 years.
state
I know my
every
cities.
single year. I meet people in Dallas all the
100%.
time. Every city I go to, blue as can be. Every suburb or rural area I go to, red as can be. Yes, the cities are what make it. The reality of it is, every state's red. Just depends if they have urban centers that turn it, that have enough to keep it up to blue. And ours are very deep. Go ahead.
How you doing, Mr. Sharpe? So, obviously, Mr. Blakeman is going to be the chosen one from the New York State GOP at their convention. I mean, you may go up
I
there.
just need 26% to be in the,
Yeah.
I'm not, there's no way I'm gonna beat him, that's true.
Right, but I'm talking about ballot access.
Yep.
So, I mean, he's already the chosen one, doesn't have to get the signatures. We know
True.
you need 15,000 signatures.
True.
You need from 13 congressional districts throughout the state.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you are not, and you don't get the 26% so that it sparks a primary, will you be willing to be on a multi-candidate petition with other candidates who are not endorsed by the Republican Party to gain ballot access with those signatures?
I'm open to the idea, depends upon who they are and what we're doing.
People from this club.
Oh, yes, 100%, yes, okay, yes, absolutely I am. I'm open to the idea completely, I'm happy to do so. The reality is, I've already gotten over 40,000 signatures twice already. In the 6-week period required in the last rules for governor. So this is 15,000 in 2 months, easy day. Easy day, so that's not a problem. I will be able to get them. Now, of course, will the Republican establishment try to sue me off the ballot? Perhaps, I hope they don't.
How have you been going about getting the signatures? Do you have a group or?
No, I have volunteered and paid people both.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I do raise good money. I'm like the other guys, he's a salesman. I've raised $500,000 twice already. I've already raised 6 figures already in this campaign, and we're still rocking along. So yeah.
How much 6 figures?
Say again?
How much?
What does that mean?
How much money have you raised so far?
Over $100,000.
Wow, congratulations.
Yes. And I still have 11 months left. Both last 2 times I ran, I raised over $500,000 as an independent. I wasn't even a major candidate.
Okay.
Yes. Also, I helped Mark Jr. raise money when he ran in 2024. So, any other questions or comments?
How you doing?
Hey.
What about affordability?
Yes.
That's really very important because this city is not affordable, just for the rich. You gotta face that. That's problematic.
100%, I completely agree. And the problem is, you will ask either of the gubernatorial candidates, what will they do? They'll say nothing. They'll say nothing. Here's the actual answer. It's a challenging answer. If you want to make this entire state affordable, you have to create a sovereign fund for the state. Trump and RFK actually talked about doing it for the nation when they first talked back in 2024. We would do it for the state. Alaska has one already. We have to create one for New York State. Singapore has one, so does Norway. What does that mean? We actually create a fund that is a separate company from the state, a separate company, which has its own CEO and its own board. That's how Singapore does it, that's how Norway does it. Once you do that, it raises money. As it begins to raise money, the first thing it pays for is education. Why education? Once it pays for education, what happens? School tax goes away. When school tax goes away, depending on who you are across the state, about half of your property tax goes away immediately. Because that's what school tax is. So property tax cut in half immediately. Not just that. Once that begins to happen, now there's no more federal strings or state strings for schools, which means local people get to control their school districts. If you want to have civics in your school, yes. If you want to have civics in your school, you may. If you want to have shop in your school, you may. If you want to have all this, you may. Local people can control their own schools. Once that happens, it changes everything. It's a big deal within the state. You gotta add 2 more things on top of that. The income tax. New York State income tax is about 4%, depending on where you are in the state. Flat 4%, cut down by 0.5% every year for 8 years, down to 0 in 8 years. You can't just drop it because the state's about $100 to $400 billion in debt. You can't just end it, so you gotta take time to bring that down. Second thing is business tax. Business tax is about 6% across the state, flat 6%, 0.5% down every year to 8%, down 8 years, down to 2%. It will be the lowest in the entire country. Right now, North Carolina is lowest at 2.5%. It is exploding. I want this place to explode. So that is how you begin to start with affordability. There's other things you can do also. You can also add nuclear power upstate New York. It's about 12 spots to put nuclear power plants in. Yes, absolutely. You can do that. Once you do nuclear power plants, you're going to have to have local people have half ownership in the actual nuclear power plants. So if they want it, they can come on in. Ownership within the individual municipality or community. That then creates, again, another system for them to make money. You can now start bringing blockchain in if you want to. You can start bringing in data processing centers if you want to. Local people make money. That helps to fill our sovereign fund, which helps to pay our debts. And we actually have to have an affordable city in the affordable state. Did I answer your question?
No, I'm nuclear power plants. I think they're dangerous.
They are not. If you look at the newest type, it's a Gen 4 type called a thorium reactor, which is actually being built right now in China. China's built about 5 or 10 of them already. They are impossible to melt down, physically impossible. Or you can also do modular nuclear power plants. Modular means 4 or 5 of them together. One is a problem, you shut it down, you still 3 or 4 around. There's actually about 13 sites across New York State. You can pump them in right away, have them within 2 years. How do I know that's true? Because I've been talking about this since 2018, and all of a sudden Kathy Hochul, in her last State of the State, said she's all about nuclear now. Because she now knows it is the only answer. There is no other answer in New York State except the nuclear. Thank you guys. I wish you luck.
I guess next, we'll move to the next speaker.
I'll do it now. Anything, got more questions?
Thank you guys, thank you so much.
He's answering everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Ronen, as you know. Last year, I came to this club and he introduced me as the guy who's gonna go against the clown Sliwa. On stage, fumble, bumble. For me, that was the beginning of my political boot camp.
Thank you for your honesty.
A quick point there, actually, he was on the ballot for the primary until the Board of Election at the last minute just says, oh, we gotta count up all his signatures.
Oh, of course.
And therefore, then he missed it by only about 50-some signatures and pulled him off.
Right, that's called voter interference.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, it was a journey. I came late into the game last year, and by the time Danny came on, he helped a lot. You know, we pushed through the last stretch, and still, obviously, as you know, they had the chosen guy.
Of course, the selective.
They went against me. We went, you know, we had a big meeting at the DOE. They pulled a trick on me. Whatever, it was what it was, and we see the result of that. Well, you know, when I came in last time, basically I came out of nowhere. I just decided, I think the beginning of January of last year, that, you know, I looked at the landscape, I'm like, I don't understand what's going on here. There's 10, 15 Democrats, and there's one Republican.
That's right.
How does Republican Party don't think to bring like
More.
a good horse to run against? Because, you know, I kind of saw it that this Zoran guy is gonna probably win, always gonna have to go against him. So I figured if I knock Sliwa, then I go all the way to election. That didn't happen. Now, going back to this race, you know, I did my thinking and I'm like, okay, governor, that's a big race. And but what I keep hearing is that the mayor is basically a bigger job than the governor. So that should be easier. But again, the same thing, I was gonna run, I talked to John, was my treasurer, and I said, look, he's like, well, look, we got the Republican Party, they already picked, what's her name?
What's his
Stefan?
face?
No, it's Bruce Blakeman.
No, the lady, that's Stefan.
It's fun.
Right, so, and it's like, I'm like, okay, well, they did the same thing last year, they think they have the chosen one. And I was like, okay, anything can happen, Trump could give her a job again, she could, whatever reason, quit. The next thing you know, 2 weeks later, you know, she quit. And then we have Bruce, which Bruce is you know, he's a sharp politician, he won in his small town, whatever district. What I think of him is I think he's a little soft, and he's a big Trump guy, right hand of Trump, which is, it's good for Republicans, but if you know, it's not a big popularity thing to have a big backing of Trump. I mean, his first ad was, I think he did an ad in West Palm Beach to get Trump's approval or whatever. But anything can happen with that. He has a lot to lose. If, you know, if he finds out that he thinks that, okay, well, maybe this is not gonna work for me, he might quit, then you have nobody running against Hochul, no major party. So, I'm in it for the long run also. I don't have an ego. If it comes down to it, and hopefully I'll get on the ballot for the primary this time. And another thing I think is the Republicans need to have a primary. You can't just choose a guy and say he's the chosen guy, he's going all the way to November, and then have them, you know, go under the radar, no public appearance, nothing, and then just after the primary, you're going to start full force. And then what we realize, the Republican Party again, they think they know who can run and who can win, and they make the decision for the voters, which obviously, as we see, is not, you know,
It's called elections, it's called selections.
Right, it's
not
called
elections.
dirty politics. That's
Thank
what
you.
it's called.
Thank
Well,
you.
So basically, I think we need to have a primary. Hopefully I get on the ballot, and I see now that we have another Sharpe guy coming in. That's, that's gonna be interesting. Personally, I think New York doesn't need another ass, it needs a badass. And that's what I can bring to the table. Another thing, like I said, back to the ego, like, I have no problem if it comes down to it, and I see that, maybe the other guy, the Bruce, or this guy have a better chance. I have no problem joining, and what I can bring to the table, which I was gonna do the last election is, obviously, everybody knows that you can't win with less than 40% of New York City, which is a major thing. That's why the popo is all out Zoran's ass. So, and I don't think Bruce can get 10% of New York City without help. So if it comes down to it, we have to join hands. We're not gonna have any of the Sliwa ego, going all the way for 7%. Now, we're gonna go down, I'm just gonna give you a real quick outline of, what policies I'm running on, which you can also see on my website. I put the website up, I got the whole thing, I got the red, what do you call it, for the donation. I got everything set up, we're coming out officially within a few days, social media and everything. So, basically, I think, if we talk about affordability, right? So congestion pricing, that's a huge thing. Anyone that drives to the city, you're looking at between $200 to $300 extra a month for people that, that's the first thing that's gonna get knocked out. And that's where you get the Democrats. That's where you get all these, the Democrat people that having all this extra expense coming out of their pocket. So that's a main thing. Safety, obviously. I mean, we see the numbers, they say coming down. I mean, I know it's probably, some of it is true, but I don't know how much is actually being reported of what's going on. And with this guy in office now, we don't know really about that safety. I mean, he calls the ICE agent defended himself, which I'm not gonna get into the details, but he calls him a murderer rather than someone who, I don't know, whatever decision it was, if it was a killing, but this is where this whole thing is going. Another thing is, if we look at the Zoran election, I don't know if you guys know, the part of the Muslim thing is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of good Muslims we're talking about Islamists here. His main donors were CARE, right? It's a Coalition of American Islamic Relations, which they're the ones who, in the past 20 years, indoctrinated all these kids that he took and, brought to him over the board, basically, all this 18 to 40 years old, most of them, which is, this is actually an organization that has been designated in Florida and other states and in other countries as a terrorist supporting organization. And that's the first thing that's got to happen in New York City because of how dangerous this organization is. And when you look at his, who he picks, and they keep saying like, oh, this guy anti-Semitic, this guy anti-American. These are all people that he was obligated to put in office because all the money and the support he got from CARE, which is ran in New York City by Lina Sarsour, and this whole anti-America, anti-Semitism that is basically going on, which is all supported by Qatar. So basically, I mean, there's a few other things I guess you can see on the website, and you'll probably see me here again. And if you have any questions right now, I'll take them.
Are you going to be looking to get the party's nomination
the Republican Party's nomination to run for governor, like Mr. Sharpe, and to get on the ballot. Are you gonna be looking to? Are you
Going to be looking to do it, I mean, because, you know, oh, you're not done, sorry.
Yeah, and if you don't get the nomination, because they have already probably blessed Mr. Blakeman, how do you expect to get the signatures? You need 15,000 signatures. You need through 13 congressional districts throughout the state. Last time we spoke, you were running for office. I had offered you a price to get you on the ballot. You didn't want to do it, and you didn't get on the ballot. So how do you expect to go ahead and get on the ballot this round?
I spoke to you here.
Well, I don't know, I mean, that was, like I said, like, you know, this whole, as soon as I'm finished with all my, setup, I had to go into the signatures. I didn't know what's going on. It was a big mess. A lot of people promised a bunch of stuff. I don't know if you offered anything like that, but someone, I mean, a couple of people that, you know, it's like 15, 20,000. Okay, what do you guarantee? We don't guarantee anything.
I said
right?
40 and I guaranteed it.
Right, that's a guarantee.
Right, but that
What
was,
does that tell you?
I don't know. I mean, it was, you know, late in the game, and I don't know if it was a guarantee, but whatever.
All right.
I'm not holding grudge. I spent a lot of money on it in different ways, and that didn't happen. But then again, like I said, this was my boot camp. I learned from it. I learned from my mistakes. Now I got a little earlier in the game, and if I don't get on the ballot with 26%, hopefully I get enough volunteers, and I'll pay the right people to do the job to actually get
I'm
it.
so glad
You
you
have his
mentioned
number.
that.
You have his
I'm
number.
so glad you mentioned that. Who you have to pay. I'm so glad.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was such a dirty game. It was, and a lot of people just went home and, you know,
God, I love this.
and didn't even go on the streets and do the right thing. So that, you know, that was, we noticed that. A lot of the signatures got, you
It's
know.
called voter interference, that's what it's called. Let's put a
I
name
don't
on
know.
it. Let's get a name on it.
This was one of the hardest thing to deal with, as far as like,
Right.
I was mind blowing, like, you know.
We're all mind blowing.
Yes.
Nobody's mind is more blown
If
than I
at the end
am.
of this election procedures, you have not been able to get the Republican gubernatorial nomination, will you run separate from the party and run the risk of splitting the anti-democratic vote?
You mean run on a different line, like an independent?
Yes.
Yes, I'll do that. But I'll tell you what, first thing I'll do, like I said, if it comes down to it, and you'll see when, you know, I'll gain some momentum and I'll get some steam. And I don't mind, you know, whoever's gonna be the front runner, right? Just like, you know, if, I don't know, Ms. Lewa joining Como, which Como was a whole different story, but if it comes down to it of me joining someone else and helping them to win, I'm not stupid, I don't have an ego, and I'm not gonna be like, okay, I'll run regardless of what it is, even if I get 1%. You understand? If I don't get the Republican nomination, I don't make it on the ballot, and whoever the front runner wants to have me on the team and help out, which I can help out with, you know, get the votes to get over, that's gonna happen. If not, then I'll go in independent. If you noticed, the last time around, you know, so if I run as independent, I get enough momentum, enough people to support me, and then towards the end, I see that my percentages are not gonna make it, I'm gonna go to Bruce and whoever it is and offer my people and the board my support, because it's anything to bid to get Hochul off the thing, which this is literally a rerun. New Yorkers have a chance right now to run against Mondani and have someone there being his boss and controlling him.
That's right.
Because Hochul is all about him. She knows she cannot win without his voters in New York City. That's why she's flip-flopping like this and trying to support and not support his agenda and his whole stupid.
Do you have any endorsements?
No, not as a bit. Like I said, I mean, you know, I got the whole thing set up. We're just coming officially within a few days. There's a guy who helped me with the signatures.
Yeah, I worked with you last year,
Yeah.
the mayor, and all my signatures were good. I didn't get paid.
Right. Well,
I mean, that's, there's nothing wrong with my signatures. They're all good.
right.
And you know, you're dishonest.
Well, excuse me. All right, first of all, it was between, I told you, go to Danny, he had money. I gave him money
I
to
love
pay,
this
so I don't know what
happening. I
happened.
love it.
If it is, then we can straighten it out.
Perfect.
But I did say, Danny is the one, I paid him to pay you and this other guy, and I don't know what happened with that, because you never contacted me
He never
afterwards.
got paid. He told me he never got paid.
Well, the guy that, you know, the illegal whatever guy that, you know, went and did, oh, okay.
I'm glad this
Okay,
is happening.
so you made one statement that we need a Republican up there because of the boss of Madani, and I agree, I totally agree. But you also said you'll split the party with non-Republican, non-Democratic voters. So, well, he said if you'll go in, if you don't get the Republican nomination,
Right.
you'll go independent.
Right, but I told you what the reason I'm gonna do that. The reason I'm going to do that is because not everyone that's gonna want, like, you know, most Republicans maybe gonna go with Bruce, right? I'm a uniter. I can bring the Democrats, the independent, the conservative, or other people. I can bring my own base. And like I said, going towards the end, I'm not gonna pull a Sliwa thing and say like I said. I can bring other people than Republican and what his base are gonna be with what I believe in and what I wanna do, right? And what I wanna bring to the table, right? Because some people are gonna be like, okay, and unite. I'll unite with whoever, exactly. The goal is to knock out Pogo. Whatever price it takes. Like I said, I have no ego. I'll do whatever it takes and I'll join with whoever has a chance of beating them.
Thank you very much, Ronen. Let's still go down since we have two and a couple more speakers after this. Next, Vaiselberg, running for State Senate, 22nd District.
Guys, a lot to take in, huh?
How you doing? Welcome to my world.
I don't follow that.
Yeah, thank you.
It's funny because I ran for councilman originally last year with Dan Helton. And then we were told, don't waste your time, become senator, because Felder was dropping out. So I said, you know what? Go for the senatorship. Because everything was looking fantastic. But what they did to Ronen, they did to me, they counted the votes. And all of a sudden, boom, and they actually took me to court. Danny was there, he saw what went on, and they had 2 lawyers against me. And the judge went to me first, and I gave him my spiel and everything, and then they went, and the judge said, you know what? What are you telling him? He says, come on, you gotta get going. I want to see what the second guy says, I want to get back to Mr. Vaiselberg. So when he came back to me, he goes to me, are you a lawyer? I went, no, I'm just a constituent that's working for my district. So he goes and tells me the only problem is that the ballot was printed already. They had gotten me off the ballot.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they did. And he said that if he was in my district, he would have voted for me after what I said. Because why do we have to sit around and have somebody say, you know what, we're going to endorse you, you don't need your votes? Why is 10 people going to pick you out of a crowd? Which I think is ridiculous. My whole thing was to be there with the community. The guys that are running now, the guy that won, first of all, was a special election. He got 11,000 votes. There is no way in a special election that one guy gets 11,000 votes. You don't have enough time to play that game, okay? He actually called me. I won't tell you the name of the senator was, Sutton. And what he did was he took me out to breakfast. And he asked me what it would cost to take me off the ballot.
Oh, really? I'm
So I picked myself up, and Danny was there. And his second in command, we heard that he's not running, his second in command supposed to take over. And he goes and said, because we found out you had like 40% of the vote. I thought that he was going to stab him right then and there. How do you tell that to an opponent, you know? So I picked myself up, and I told Dan, let's get out of here. And we did. So we ended up getting write-in votes. The only problem was my name was so long, and they couldn't fit it in, and they didn't write it, whatever it was. But wherever I go till today, senator, I'm senator, everybody's calling me senator, you have to run again. Now, my campaign wasn't like, I'm gonna give you what you want, I'm gonna give you what you want, I'm gonna give you what you want. It wasn't like that. I shop in my community, I deal with my community, I grew up with my community. My son runs a medical center in the community. My daughter's a nurse. My daughter-in-law is an NP. My wife, before she died, 40 years in the medical business. I ran Beth Israel Medical Center. I was operations. I ran New York Community Hospital. I was vice president there. I worked with Midwood Ambulance, so healthcare was really my background now. Everything that's going on, look, our president is trying to help us now. One of the things that he's going for is the amount of money that the insurance companies are getting, he wants to give to the patient. Let the patient pick out their doctor. I have to work with their hospital, or maybe I don't want to, you know?
That's right.
So I think that's great. It saves us a lot of money also, because they can, if you're getting a certain amount of money, you're gonna be watching it, okay? Now, also with this thing that they want to pass with taking care of the kids, which I think is a fantastic idea. So somebody came over to me and said, well, how do you know you can trust him? Well, our president's supposed to be setting up something like Doge for that, to keep an eye on everything, okay? So I really feel that if you really want to run as a candidate, not a professional candidate, which we have, one of the guys ran twice and he didn't do anything. I mean, his most important platform was, I own a lot of buildings, I'm going to give it to the city. So what does that tell you? The money's going back into his pocket, right? I don't have $1 million in my background, like the senator that won. He has a big background. He ran for years. He ran, it's called the Sephardic, because Holland, the Sephardic this, the Sephardic. It's a whole community in Brooklyn. Now, what Mr. Schwartz said was that everything is blue. You know what? You're right. Everything is blue, but you know what? They vote Republican. Everybody that spoke to me said the only reason they're staying a Democrat is because they can vote in all the elections.
Right.
I turned from Democrat to Republican when our president was running. And my kids said, what are you talking about? I said, well, I explained to them that I think that the world should be run as a business. Everybody complained about the tariffs, and they complained about this. Look what's happening with everything. Social Security is not going to be taxed. The big blue, right? Look at that. So that's only the beginning, 100%. So, and what are these Democrats doing? Every time something goes good, it's Trump derangement syndrome.
That's right.
There is no reason why they should do that. But why are they doing that? So that just goes to tell me, like this guy that killed Babbitt, I mean, the other guy that shot, he made over $9 million because he's part of this thing. And he got a raise, and he got why? If everything is being found out, which is, and why aren't they getting rid of the home marshal? Look, she married her brother. Just $30 million that any candidate, I mean, look, I just passed up an offer to run Lincoln Hospital. Okay?
That's big.
1.2 million. Okay? And I want to become senator for $142,000. And I said to myself, you know what? I can help a lot of people there. But how many more people can I help in my district to make things work?
Right.
But you have to be in your district. If you're not in your district and you don't know what they're doing, and you don't know that down the block that I went into the bank and there's a guy sleeping inside. And before I got out, he did his thing outside, and then he came back in, and I had to jump over everything to get out of there. But why is it like that? Why are our our people that are there now, the senator and the councilman that's there, why aren't they doing what they're supposed to be doing?
And
Why?
paying them.
And we're paying them, that's right. These are professional people that collect a paycheck. And I just can't understand why they get away with everything. And it's funny because I was called by Leon McCabe to come into the executive thing, and I did my thing Monday night. And I was called yesterday to the 61st precinct. They also had something like this, because they wanted me to be there. And they said, you know what? There's never been anybody that came that was running. And I said, the funny thing is, I'm not even on the ballot yet, but I want to see what's going on in my community. And they applauded it, because I think it's fantastic. And then I got called by, what's her name? Van Marone. I'm meeting with the executive committee. And the two people that were working with the other candidate, they were the ones that, right after the court case, they kept running over to me. You know, it's nothing personal, it's not this. And the two lawyers wanted to give me their card. I said, if you were the last lawyers on earth, I would have crazy. So then when I went to the executive meeting, they were there, the two people that started this, and they both apologized when I went up. They said, no, we shouldn't have done that. I said, what, did you like the candidate that you endorsed? What did they do for you? So we got basically screwed because it was voter fraud. There was no way that the Democrats will work without voter fraud.
Thank you.
And I think that things should be different, but it's going to take a lot. We really have to get together. Look, I heard there's 63 people that are in this group. What are the rest of you guys?
That's right.
I don't understand. You pay your fee, whatever it is. Show your support.
No.
I walk around, I know my car, I have an American flag in my car, you know that? I walk around with an American flag wearing. We're hitting 250 years now, right?
That's right.
Does anybody know that? Does anybody
Yes.
care? If you're a true blue American,
It's gonna
you
be
should be
awesome.
doing it. You should be doing it.
It's gonna be
Alex,
great.
why aren't these chairs filled? Last night, the 61st precinct, they were filled.
Sir, can
Couldn't
we
get
ask
in.
you some questions, or are you just gonna talk? Can we ask you questions?
That's the practice to be a politician.
All right.
That's how it works. Yes, what would you like to know?
I'd like to know your policy on congestion pricing.
That's one of the things that.
And one other thing, and Kathy Hochul said she's gonna make everything, like cut insurance policy prices for people. Do you have any idea how she's doing these things?
I don't think
Nobody
you have any
knows.
idea of what
Nobody
she's
has
doing,
the
period,
answer.
Okay? I think that our president is gonna be working on that for us. He's coming out with his own drug company, which I think is gonna make a very big difference, okay? And your first question about
Congestion pricing.
yes, that was on my platform last year. I don't want it.
And what about?
What about the cameras, your speed cameras?
That's what I wanted, no, the red
That was
light.
on my platform too. Do you know that
They're
50% are illegal? They're illegal because they have to be in your schools and not supposed to be in residential streets. Did you know
I
that?
hear the policy they're trying to put in.
And they're
Sure,
private, and one other thing. I thought I was gonna say, that me out, what?
Yeah, because I just heard the governor or the state, they're gonna be putting a lot more cameras.
Yes, they are.
600.
600, right, that's 600 more cameras, okay? Now, not only that, you know how many tickets I got? It was like after 8 o'clock at night and you pass the school zone and getting a ticket? Why? When they first came out with it was till the end of school, right? I went, it was 4 miles over the limit. You have to go like 10 miles. And I got a ticket for $50. Why? Is that fair? The school's closed, there's no kids there. Why are you doing that?
It's like the lotto.
That's true.
It's supposed to be for education.
Yeah, right. Whose education? Their kids' education, to pay for their college. So I think that we need more candidates, especially we need more Republicans, for sure. I mean, I don't understand why people are afraid to run. I don't understand why it's like that. We have to stick together. I mean, how many senators do we have? 61 or 62?
I lost count.
63, and how many Republicans? 7, 8, 10? So where is it? I don't understand
I
that.
think we should ask the GOP about that.
Yeah, what are they gonna tell you? I mean, when I saw them at the executive meeting, when they came over to me, I said, so you're happy with the candidate you took last year? What did they do for you? Did you ever see him? Now, with the new senator that's in District 22, he says President Trump came out with the infertility drug thing in 2020, he passed it. He took credit for it. Why did you take credit for it?
Because the people are not educated.
That's right, and I called it in and I complained and nothing happened. And nothing happened. So we need people to run, to be with the people, to find out what's going on. And that's my platform. And
Any questions? Any other questions, guys? Ronald?
With a background in healthcare, do you see a certificate of need as a big issue affecting the healthcare industry in the state of New York, and that there should be reform to it or possibly abolishment of it? Because just was curious on your.
No, I think that's a great question. I think
Can you tell us what certificate of need is?
in other words, let's say you have something and your doctor doesn't want to take care of it, or you don't want to have that particular doctor. They want to have a certificate saying that you have to have it done. How many times did you go somewhere and they said, we're going to deny it, you have to do this, you have to do that? I have that problem also, but I fight it. 9 out of 10 of us don't, and we'll just pay, which is ridiculous. I think after Trump passes this thing, it's going to be a totally different thing. Especially him coming out with his new drug company, which I think will destroy them all, to be honest with you. Let me tell you something. If Trump came out with a cure for cancer, they would want to destroy him. The drugs, some of them cost $1,800, $2,000, $10,000 a month. So who's more important, the drug company or people? At this point, what do they care?
Any other questions? Rocco?
Yes, there's a law called Local Law 97 that's going to convert all the boilers to electric stoves, no gas.
Well, they're fighting that now also, as far as I understand.
But I want it to be defeated because it's going to make, I live in Co-op, and it's going, if they do the work, it's an old building. First they said, we don't have the infrastructure. Then they said, no.
Yeah, then all of a sudden,
they insisted. It's money hungry. It's not about reducing.
Exactly, that's exactly what it is. Here, well, you had to buy garbage cans if you owned a house. Why? I had to buy your garbage cans, then they came out with the other stupidity where you had to buy that thing for your own leftovers. And now they're coming out with another thing because it didn't work, because the rats were turning over that small can. Now they want to come out with another can that has a lid on the top of it. So you mean you're going to keep telling us we have to buy it, we have to buy it?
Yeah, they nickel and dime you so they can have your apartment,
That's
your
exactly
condo,
what
or
it
your
is.
house.
That's what they're looking
That's
for,
what
which
communists
is
do.
totally ridiculous. Well, our socialist mayor now, I don't know what's going to go on with that, but it doesn't look too good to me. That's why we have to stick together. Do you know that if the senators get together, they can override the mayor? And you know that the governor could fire the mayor? But like, I think it was Ronen said, never going to happen. Never going to happen because she needs his vote. Any other questions?
Well, wait around.
Yeah.
Why is everybody against Madani? Like, socialism is not new in this country.
But the problem is, if we're Americans, we don't believe in what he believes in, okay? There are a lot of things that he's coming out with, just the idea of him taking the people that he's taking in. He fired how many, 363 people got fired?
Really?
Yeah, something like that. He fired everybody, he's bringing in his own people, and 9 out of 10 that he's bringing in are care or Muslims that can't stand him out. His own father was against us. I mean, he got money from his mother that does the film industry, that gets money from Muslims.
Okay,
So
all
he-
fair, everything being fair, I work right across the street from City Hall, and they're hiring back people that were let go. Some of the people that let go, they're hiring them back.
But do you have any idea how many people he's bringing back that are on his side, though?
No, I don't have
You
any
don't think
idea,
so?
I'm just saying, in
Yeah, could
fairness,
bring him back
people
in.
that were let go that are non-civil service city workers are coming back, yes.
Let's hope that he doesn't get
For
his
the-
hand into
for
that
the
either.
office of the mayor, for special projects.
I hear you, but I don't have too much faith in that either, to be
Well,
honest.
I'm just saying that.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Okay, let's go move on to Juan Pagan, our last speaker of the evening. Of course, Bernard will be here to answer any of your questions once the meeting's over.
Where's your roll on biscuit? Why are you gonna do that? I didn't get paid.
It's getting late, right? And I'm getting tired. Rest, right? But
Save the best for last.
Who are you? Hi, my name is Juan Pagan. I'm running for state senate against John Liu again. I think you know that John Liu was very successful in knocking me off the Republican line, and I hope that doesn't happen this year.
It's not gonna happen.
We're not going to allow it to happen.
That's right.
Before, I did come prepared with a presentation. I'm going to cut it short because I know it's time. But one of the things I want to do is, in regard to Babbitt, I got 2 certificates from the New York State Police Firearms Training Academy years ago, because I had to work with the New York State Department of Correctional Services. And we're not only taught how to use firearms, but we're taught how to use. Why? And the specific thing I want to say, one of the things we learned as law enforcement officers is if there's a threat to life and limb, then you are justified to use deadly physical force, and Lieutenant Byrd should be in a prison right now, okay? Because he had no justification for shooting and killing Babbitt. Okay? Now that wasn't part of my presentation, but June 6th is an issue, and I'll let you know something that's going on here. So I'm going to go ahead with my presentation. I'm going to be quick about it because it's getting late. But I want to let you know what's going on in the New York State Legislature. A few things, there's so many things, some were touched upon right now, but I'm going to touch upon a few. Right now, there's a letter here that I have. It's 9 pages long. I'm going to make 3 points out of this letter. And the letter, it's a long letter. If you want, I'll send you a copy of it. I'll email it to you. But I'm just going to make 3 points, okay? Now, this letter comes Letitia James, Attorney General, and from Betty Rosa, who is the Commissioner of the New York State Education Department. And basically, the letter is telling school board members that they want to coerce them to infringe upon our First Amendment rights. So I'm just going to give 3 points out of this 9-page letter. Okay, there's a point here, and it says that transgender and gender expensive students rights to use facilities including restrooms, locker rooms, participate in school athletic teams, showers, consistent with their gender identity. That means a boy who thinks he's a girl can indulge in girl sports. I'm against that. Okay, it's not right. It's biologically wrong. Okay, now here's number 2, a lie. Okay, it says here that gender identity is different from the traditionally traditionally associated with sex assigned to that person at birth. Doctors do not assign your sex. They expose. They reveal what you are when you are born. You're either born with a penis and a pair of testicles, you're born with a vagina and a pair of ovaries, presumably, right? That's it. Boys and girls, okay? So, and as I get on with the presentation, you'll understand why I'm bringing this up. It's in the letter. Okay, the last point, I think this is the thesis of this letter. This is really the key. And this one I'm going to read, it's only 2 sentences long. I'm going to read it to you, and you'll see what they are doing, what the state is doing. Here's how they start. Under the First Amendment right, school board meetings are considered limited public fora. This means that school boards that allow public comment may make reasonable viewpoint-neutral rules governing the content of speech allowed, including prohibiting all comments on a particular topic. There's a word for that. They have redefined the First Amendment right. What it means to them, to the state of New York, to Hochul, to Letitia James, to Betty Rosa, what that means is that the First Amendment rights apply to them only, not to the people. Okay? You know what that's called? Tyranny. The start of it, the seedlings of it, right? Okay, so, and I found this little phrase from Benjamin Franklin. I'm going to read it because it really applies to what I just said just now. And quote, freedom of speech is a principle, pillar of a free government. When this support is taken away, the constitution of a free society is dissolved. End of quote. Let me get to my second, okay. So in this first letter where they want to violate our First Amendment rights, they make a lot of references to another document. By the way, this document was May 8th, 2025, just a few months ago, right? Okay. They make a lot of reference to this 42-page document. I've read it, I've studied it. A lot of things wrong with this. And at the end, I'm going to make my point, hopefully. Okay? And with this 42-page document, again from Letitia James, Betty Rosa, Commissioner of New York State Education Department, along with another 14-page document from Letitia James. And this 14-page, what it's saying in essence is, parents, you cannot say that what we're saying here is inappropriate because then you're a bigot. All right? I could go on with that, but let me give you just 4 points from these 2 documents, okay? Page 3. In creating that document, they consulted with an array of state offices, pro-LGBT groups, pro-transgenderism groups, every group, every professional. They excluded parents, the stakeholders. Okay, another one. Okay, pages 9 through 11, they have a glossary, transgender glossary. Okay, and they have 26 terms, 20 of which are 20 genders. Did I say that this document was sent to every public school in New York State from kindergarten up? Kindergarten. Okay. There's a whole bunch of things in there, but I'm just going to give you two more. The schools, the NYSED, New York State Education Department, are encouraging the school personnel to keep parents in the dark unless the children give the school administrators permission to tell their parents, undermining parental authority. And the other one, there's so many here, I'm going to stop right there. Okay. And I'm going to go to number 3. There's 2 bills I'm holding up. From January 30th, 2025. The date on this, in regular session in the Assembly. One is from John Liu, started with John Liu. And John Liu, who's a state senator, who I'm running against, and then his buddy Levine in the state assembly, kind of did it backwards, right? It was introduced by John Liu in the state senate. Usually it starts at the assembly, goes to the senate, goes to the committee, then eventually it ends up Hochul's desk for signature, right? Now this is the J6 proposal. He wants to include in the school curriculum, public schools, the January 6th insurrection. In the bill, he compares January 6th to the Holocaust.
Really?
Yeah, it's here. I have it. Both of them. In fact, John Liu started it. He got support from his friends in the state assembly. And they want to teach our children, and they're very specific. Let's see. Not only in public schools, this instruction shall be prescribed and maintained in private schools too. They want to continue, the state wants to continue to poison the minds of our young children. I They need, I'm sorry that I'm reading a few things, but there's this, I thought I was back in college. I'm writing a paper and I got so many resources, but let me read just this one phrase from a book from Marx and Engels, right? The fathers of, I think this battery died. The fathers of communism. In their book, The Origin of the Family, Private Property, and the State, they demand, 1, the abolition of the family, 2, identical integration of men and women, 3, collective rearing of children in institutions run by the state. Communism. Right from our state office, right? I'm just going to read one more line, and then I'm going to bring this to an end. And then in his book, William Foster, published in 1932, the title of the book is Toward Soviet America. Okay. The goal, the primary goal, a U.S. Department of Education that would eventually replace patriotism and Christianity in schools, colleges, and universities with communism and globalism. Do you see what's happening? You think it's going to end with Mandami, a communist and a Muslim, person who hates America, hates Christians, hates Jews? Am I angry? Of course I'm angry.
We all are. If you're not angry, there's something wrong with you.
You're a Democrat.
Oh,
And then I just want to drop this article that I read from the New York Times by Michelle Goldberg. The title of it says it all. These liberals have been telling us right to our face what they're doing. The title of the article is "We Can Replace Them." Who are the we? The we, according to Michelle Goldberg, are the non-whites and the white liberals. Who are the them? Patriots. The ones who love America, the ones who love our Constitution, the ones that love this republic, right? So, how do they plan to replace us? The illegal immigration, the millions that came in here, okay? Why is Trump working so beautifully and difficult, hard to get rid of these illegals? Because their plan, they're telling us right to our face, they're going to replace us with these voters. You know, I think it was Elon Musk. He did some sort of survey. He says that if 1/5 of the illegals that entered our country, 1/5 got on the voter rolls, the Democrats will win every race. They'll win the next presidency. They'll win. And they will turn this country into a communist regime, all right? So I'm going to end with this one thing. There's so many other things I wanted to say.
So any questions for Juan?
Any questions? Please, I'll do my best to answer what I can. Yes?
In regards to getting on not getting on the Republican line, was clear that it hurt you so much.
Yes, it did.
In the last election. What are you doing to secure that position this time round, or what is your plan this time?
My plan is to get as many patriots on this, to get me back on the ballot, to get as many people, to get enough signatures, to get that petition drawn up correctly so that the Board of Elections or that John Liu cannot knock me off the ballot. Now, let me tell you something. Yeah, John Liu, I saved it. He sent me a 28-page, I can't, to go to court, John Liu versus Juan Pagan and the Board of Elections. 28 pages. He threw everything he could think of. He's got the money. He can afford the attorneys to do that. Okay. So I'm hoping for people to help me get there. Okay. Please, any questions whatsoever, I will do my best to answer them. Before I end it, I'm just going to end it with one very small few sentences. Yes, sir.
Oh, I have the mic, yeah. So the thing is, I was asked a question here, and so Madani won, and the stats say he won by legal immigrants. That was right?
That's a very good question. I am pretty certain.
Right.
The system is so corrupted. Now, I can tell you based on my experience, because I got involved in politics 2001. 2006, some friends, so I was up in Albany lobbying, and some people said, hey Juan, we want you to run for office. Long story, I'm not going to get into it. But the point I'm making is that all the years that I've been involved in politics, running for office, and getting knocked off the ballot, the Board of Elections, New York City Board of Elections is the most corrupted system.
They're gonna grow, I promise.
So
it is, I'm sorry.
Yes, right. The question that
I don't know if that answered.
Yeah, where I'm going with this, because I was just asked the question, and I'm happy I did it on immigration. So the thing is, maybe not in like a couple years back, but recently, the poll when we start to apply, the poll, and I was asked that question, is to be pulled towards immigrants, to Democrats. Everything that I was involved with, and a lot of immigrants are involved with, we are pulled towards the Democrat Party.
Yes, they are.
We are pulled towards them.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
The question I'm asking now is, because the stats is saying that, and I asked Brock told me that Republicans can't win this city. I don't know. So the thing is that, can we win as Republicans or American First from the bottom up, or from the top down, so from the governor down, or from the grassroots up?
I strongly believe we can win from the bottom up. I'm going to tell you why. I've encountered so many people that are Democrats, okay? And don't get mad at me. I was campaigning for Curtis Lewa, okay? And I talked to a lot of people out there. And a lot of Democrats, I hate Trump, but I don't want a communist mayor. I'm voting for Sliwa, okay? So that was the thing, okay? And I encountered many like that. So with that, nobody dislikes me.
Unfortunately, it's 9:30, so we need to close the meeting. But before we close the meeting, there are several people in the audience who wants to make some announcements of them running for office. Okay. Anyone want to make it official tonight? All right.
Well, stay, so we can have a debate afterwards.
No, I
problem.
would love to talk afterwards.
Absolutely, no, we can do it in
You
front of
talked
everybody.
about pain. Didn't you talk about pain, people?
We can do it.
No, I don't want to talk to you. You've been my rival for 4
If you knew what
years.
you were talking about, you'd be getting
No,
this.
you need
But
to
you have no
stop the
idea.
interference. Stop the interference.
And I have, no, she's an independent. Who
are you?
I have been managing.
You don't even know who I
in the
am.
26th Assembly District.
Criminal.
For over 10 years. Oh, she just called me a criminal. for
That's
being
right. I
January
got the
6th.
receipts.
Guys, we cannot do this.
No, it's okay, let her go on. Don't stop an idiot while they're making a fool of themselves. So,
We cannot do this.
it's okay.
It's okay.
So, I know the 26th Assembly District like the back of my hand from getting other candidates on the ballot over the years. And there's a gentleman who's responsible for co-authoring the bail reform bill. His name is Ed Braunstein. Ed Braunstein, the Roman Catholic with the Jewish last name. And he is currently the assemblyman from the 26th Assembly District, who Governor Hochul, we were talking earlier about local law number 97, has put that on the burner until after her election. And they are going to implement local law number 97. And we were talking about the replacement theory with Mexicans and so on and so forth from South America. The President of the United States had put out a truth about 3 weeks ago that they want electricity so that it goes out, so that it freezes out Americans. Americans will die without electricity. And to get rid of fossil fuels so that the Democrat Party can replace us with South Americans who are easier to control. So I decided to throw my hat in the ring. I do not want the Republican nomination from the party. I'm not going to go for it. I'm perfectly capable of getting myself on the ballot. I'm endorsed by the America First Warehouse, which runs Real America Voice. I'm going to run an America First campaign. I have no problem getting the signatures, working with others, working with you, Juan, getting on the ballot, making the petitions, having multi-candidate petitions with other candidates. I've gotten Jonathan Rinaldi on the ballot. You can sit here and attest to it right now. He's right here.
Please sort of wrap it up.
Yes, I'm almost there. And so I'm throwing my hat in the ring without asking for the Republican nomination. The party turned their back on me because I embarrassed rhinos when I climbed through the window at the Capitol to stop the electoral count, which I was convicted for by a jury and went to prison for. So I've decided that it's time. I know the district like the back of my hand. It's winnable. It's a winnable race, knocking on doors. And yes, it is a blue district. It is a blue district, and the policies affect the taxpayers, and they're gonna vote Republican. They've had enough. You know, we're gonna take taxes away here, increase them by 1.2% here so that you don't notice it.
We'll give you more time at a future meeting, because it's now.
Absolutely. Yes, you have a question, sir? Yes, sir.
Point of order, as Mr. Mayor pointed out, we are approaching the end of the meeting. You were simply asked, along with others, if you are going to run for office, just declare your candidacy. So just give us your name.
My name is-
What office you're working for, ask or tell us what line you're on, that's it. We want a full exposition.
I will be running, thank you, sir. I will be running on, thank you for correcting me. I will be running on the Republican line, and hopefully we have a primary so I can expose the Queens County GOP, because I know where all the bones are buried, because I was with them for 5 years.
Anyone else
Thank
wants to
you.
make an
26th
announcement
Assembly.
tonight? Because I know some of you wants to, but you want to make an announcement tonight? Josephine says she wanted to say something rather important there, so let's give her some time. Okay.
We've been waiting for.
Okay, I'm gonna talk really quick because I only have 2 minutes. Okay, I come with good news for everyone, especially the youth. Okay, New York City. Well, first of all, I need a hand raised. Who thinks that New York is blue? Raise your hand. And who thinks that New York is red? And then something about New York State.
Yeah.
Okay, I have good news, okay? I was part of volunteering to New York Citizen Audit, which they are right now in court.
It's not called New York Citizens Audit anymore.
Are you ready?
Yeah, no, I was just letting you know. She knew what she was talking about. She has no idea what she's talking
There's
about.
Sovereign America, and there's New York Citizen Audit, which originally started, and you can go to the website
Then it was
and
Project
see
Lisbon.
all the deficiencies that has been going on. New York turned red in 2020, and President Trump wears a cap that says 45 through 47, meaning that they stole the elections, okay? New York is red.
It is not red.
Excuse me,
No,
we
no,
are
it is
in
not red. No,
court
it is not
right
red.
now.
It is not red.
We are in
It is not
court,
red.
and we're gonna win, and I want it on film that everybody who's involved in election fraud and interference are going to jail, and I promise you, because President Trump gave an ultimatum of 20 states have to clean out their rolls before the election, and New York was included. Okay, these are people
It's
that
gonna
are
have nothing
trying
to do
to
with
keep
that.
you from the truth, and we are going to win, and whoever's running this time around has a better chance in the history of New York. You know what? There's a lot of Republicans here in New York, Staten Island, Long Island, and Queens flipped in 2020.
Okay.
People are
No.
going to jail. If
It is
anybody's
30%
involved in election
now-
fraud or interference, they're going to jail, I promise you.
Not because of you, but because of President
We're now
Trump. for sure.
9:37, but
That I can tell you. Because of President Trump, not because of you. Not because of you. Not
Motion.
because of you.
Do I have a
Not
second?
because of you. Not because of you. There is election fraud.
Everybody here,
Yeah,
that you like
but you're screaming. Nobody can hear
because
you
you're
when you're
talking
screaming.
over me.
Nobody can
Because
hear
you're
you
a
when you're
criminal.
screaming.
You're
Nobody
talking
can
over
get
me.
out of my.
You're talking over
Don't touch me.
You are talking over me.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. You're the biggest rival. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't. Yeah, this one has no idea what the hell she's talking about. If she knew what she was doing, I'm not going to jail. I'm not going to jail. I have nothing to do with election fraud. What are you talking about? What is she talking about? She has no idea what she's talking about. She has no idea. Don't touch anybody. Don't touch anybody. Nobody can hear you while you're screaming.
Go to the man, not the woman. Not the woman. I bust my ass 4 years. 4 years.
Nobody can hear you. You didn't do anything. Nobody can hear you while you're screaming. Nobody can hear you while you're screaming. Nobody can hear you. Nobody. That's right. What am I going to do it for free? Yeah. Nobody can hear you. Nobody can hear you while you're screaming. Go on the corner and scream. Go protest with us. Yeah, no, I'm a criminal. I'm a criminal. Listen, she has no idea what she's talking about. I'm part of the election fraud. I went to prison because, excuse me, January 6th, I went to prison because I was protesting the stolen election from President Trump.
Did we get a second?
Has no idea what she's talking
Did we get a
about.
second?
She's unhinged.
Did we get a second to end the meeting?
She's
So I can end?
unhinged. Putting her hands on people, touching people, absolutely unhinged. You're unhinged. You're unhinged. You're unhinged. And you need psychiatry. That's what you need. Psychiatry. Psychiatry.